In a quiet pond surrounded by lush green meadows and towering trees, there lived two unlikely friends, a duck named Ducky and a fish named Finny. Though their worlds were very different, their bond was as strong as the current that flowed through the pond. Chapter 1. The meeting. Ducky had always been a curious duck. From the moment she hatched, she wanted to explore everything around her. She would paddle to the edges of the pond, peer into the dense forest, and gaze up at the sky, wondering what lay beyond the clouds. One sunny afternoon, as Ducky was paddling near the center of the pond, she noticed something shimmering below the surface. Intrigued, she dove down to investigate. To her surprise, she came face to face with a brightly colored fish. "Hello," said Ducky, her voice muffled by the water. "Hello," replied the fish, darting around in excitement. "My name is Finny. What's yours?" "I'm Ducky," she said, surfacing for a breath. "I haven't seen you around here before. I usually stay near the bottom where it's cooler," Finny explained. "But today I wanted to see what it was like up here." From that moment on, Ducky and Finny became fast friends. They spent their days exploring the pond together, sharing stories, and dreaming of adventures beyond their watery home. Chapter 2. The Great Adventurian Day. Ducky and Finny were basking in the warm afternoon sun when they heard a commotion near the edge of the pond. Curious, they swam over to investigate. They found a group of forest animals gathered around a large map spread out on the ground. "What's going on?" Ducky asked a friendly squirrel. "We're planning an expedition," the squirrel replied. "We've heard tales of a magical waterfall deep in the forest. It's said to have water that sparkles like diamonds and grants those who find it a single wish." Ducky's eyes lit up with excitement. "Finny, we have to go. Imagine what we could wish for." Finny, who had always been a bit more cautious, hesitated. "But Ducky, the forest is dangerous. We don't know what's out there." "That's true," said the squirrel, overhearing their conversation. "But with the right preparation, we can face any challenge. Besides, it's said that true friends can overcome anything together." With that, Ducky and Finny decided to join the expedition. They spent the next few days preparing for their journey, gathering supplies and learning about the forest from the other animals. Chapter 3. Into the forest. Early one morning, the group set out on their adventure. Ducky waddled alongside the forest animals, while Finny was carried in a special water-filled container on a cart pulled by a strong, friendly deer. The forest was unlike anything Ducky and Finny had ever seen. Tall trees stretched towards the sky, their leaves forming a dense canopy overhead. The air was filled with the sounds of chirping birds, rustling leaves, and the occasional distant roar of a waterfall. As they ventured deeper into the forest, they encountered various challenges. They crossed rickety bridges over deep ravines, navigated through dense underbrush, and even faced a fierce storm that threatened to turn them back. Through it all, Ducky and Finny relied on each other and their new friends for support. The squirrel used his agility to scout ahead, the deer used her strength to carry them across difficult terrain, and Ducky and Finny provided encouragement and kept everyone's spirits high. Chapter 4. The Enchanted Clearing. After many days of travel, the group finally reached an enchanted clearing. The air here felt different, magical. Even in the center of the clearing stood an ancient tree with branches that glittered like gold. "This must be the place," said the squirrel, looking around in awe. "The map says the waterfall is just beyond this tree." Ducky and Finny could hardly contain their excitement. They hurried to the other side of the tree, and there it was, the magical waterfall. The water cascaded down a series of sparkling rocks, creating a mesmerizing display of light and color. "We made it!" cried Ducky, flapping her wings in joy. "Now we just have to make our wish," Finny said, swimming in circles in his container. Chapter 5. The wishes they approached the waterfall, they saw a small, glowing fish swimming in the pool at the base. The fish looked up and smiled. "Welcome, travelers. I am the guardian of the waterfall. You may each make one wish, but choose wisely." Ducky and Finny looked at each other, their minds racing with possibilities. They had dreamed of this moment, but now that it was here, they wanted to make sure their wishes truly mattered. Ducky went first. "I wish for the pond to always be a safe and happy place for all who live there," she said. The guardian fish nodded, and a wave of light spread across the pond, ensuring that it would remain a sanctuary for all its inhabitants. Finny took a deep breath. "I wish for the ability to explore the world beyond the pond with my friends," he said. The guardian fish smiled again, and Finny felt a strange sensation. He realized he could now breathe air and move on land as easily as he could in water. Chapter 6: New Adventures. With their wishes granted, Ducky and Finny returned to the pond with their friends. They shared their stories and the wonders they had seen, inspiring others to be brave and explore the world around them. Ducky and Finny continued to go on adventures, both near and far. They discovered new ponds, met other animals, and even helped solve problems in the forest. They learned that the world was full of surprises and that true friendship could overcome any obstacle. One day, as they sat by the edge of the pond watching the sunset, Ducky turned to Finny and said, "I'm so glad we went on that adventure. It changed our lives forever." "Me too," Finny replied. "And I can't wait to see what other adventures await us." And so, in their quiet pond, surrounded by friends and the beauty of nature, Ducky and Finny continued to dream, explore, and live their lives to the fullest, knowing that as long as they had each other, anything was possible. Chapter 7: The Unexpected Journey. One crisp autumn morning, as Ducky and Finny were enjoying a leisurely swim, they heard a commotion coming from the nearby reeds. Curious, they swam over to investigate and found a group of animals in distress. "What happened?" Ducky asked a frantic-looking frog. "It's the beavers," the frog exclaimed. "Their dam has collapsed, and now the river is flooding their homes. We need to help them." Without hesitation, Ducky and Finny gathered their friends and set out for the beavers' village. When they arrived, they saw the extent of the damage. The river had swollen and broken through the dam, causing chaos and destruction. "We have to rebuild the dam and divert the water," Ducky said, her mind already racing with ideas. Finny, now able to move freely on land, helped organize the animals. The deer used her strength to move large branches, the squirrel gathered materials, and the frogs and other aquatic creatures worked to clear the debris. Together, they formed a plan. Ducky and Finny led the effort, guiding the animals in building a new, stronger dam. It was hard work, but everyone pitched in, knowing that their friends' homes depended on it. Chapter 8: The Rescuers. They worked. They heard faint cries for help coming from downstream. Ducky and Finny hurried to investigate and found a family of beavers trapped on a small island, surrounded by rushing water. "We have to save them," Finny said, determination in his voice. Using a makeshift raft, Ducky and Finny braved the swift current to reach the stranded beavers. It was a perilous journey, but their teamwork and courage saw them through. One by one, they ferried the beavers to safety. When they finally returned to the main group, they were met with cheers and applause. The animals had completed the new dam, and the river's flow was once again under control. "Thank you," said the beaver leader, tears of gratitude in his eyes. "You've saved our homes and our families. We are forever in your debt." Chapter 9: Celebrating Friendship. At evening, the animals gathered to celebrate their hard work and the bonds of friendship that had brought them together. They shared stories, sung songs, and feasted on a bounty of food provided by the grateful beavers. Ducky and Finny sat together, watching their friends laugh and dance under the stars. They felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing that they had made a difference in the lives of those around them. "Today showed me how much we can achieve when we work together," Ducky said, eyes shining with pride. "And how important it is to be there for each other," Finny added. "No matter the challenge, we can overcome it together." Chapter 10. Lessons learned. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, Ducky and Finny continued to explore and help others. They became known throughout the forest as the most reliable and kind-hearted duo, always ready to lend a hand or a fin. They learned many valuable lessons along the way. They discovered the importance of community, the strength that comes from unity, and the power of kindness and compassion. They also realized that true friendship knows no boundaries, whether in the air, on land, or in water.